third stroke, it will be 7:59 and 40 seconds. At the third stroke, it will be 7:59 and 50 seconds. At the third stroke, it will be 8 o'clock precisely.
The Amateur Television Net is on every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Catch up with the latest ATV news, see the latest television projects, shack layouts and much more. A good time to ask questions about amateur television. We use local 2-meter liaison frequency FM simplex 147.400 MHz and Berwick repeater 439.375 MHz. Every Tuesday starting 8 p.m.
Good evening. Sound coming from everywhere. There seemed to be a bit of a delay on my transmission back from the repeater, but never mind. Better to have too much sound than not enough, although not loud, actually. And Clint is always good to get a measurement. I've got audio coming from somewhere I do not want it to come from. Anyway, we shall sort that out. All right, Dubus subscriptions are due this month, coming up, and so here's a promo.
Dubus Magazine is an international amateur radio magazine, intended for the VHF and above operator. Published in Germany by not-for-profit editors, it is bilingual. There are 4 issues a year, each of over 100 A5 pages, which are devoted to a mix of state-of-the-art technical articles and DX operating news. Dubus subscriptions are approximately $50 a year for 4 editions, air-mailed to your door, organised via our very own honorary VK Dubus representative, Alan Devlin VK3XPD, details on the www.dubus.org webpage.
Yes, so yes. Also, I noticed that there was an ad or a comment, a notice on VK Classifieds, I think it's called, which Alan put there, reminding people to subscribe. So that's another source of information for that. Good. Well, this evening we've got an action-packed number of stations coming up. We have, I'll pass it over soon to Peter, VK3 BCU, BFG, and I'm sure BCU is watching. So, Neil, and then Peter, if you could pass it on to Richard, VK3 VRS, and Richard, if you could pass it on to Stephen, VK3 TTF, and then Stephen, if you could pass it, let's go straight over to Mick on RTV2, VK3CH. Otherwise, I can pick it up if you wish. And so that's the run order as I understand it at this point in time. All right, Peter, I see your banner is up there, so people can prepare to switch to RTV1 if that's what you need to do. Richard on YouTube, and I'll put up a bit of a slide.
Okay, it looks as though I could be on. I didn't really get the change over there, but never mind. I think we're okay. I'm Peter, VK3BFG in Montana South. And today, unfortunately, I went to a wake where there were quite a lot of people, actually. It was a very sad situation where the wife passed away, and then the husband passed away a week later. So for the family, it was incredibly traumatic. But they were two very nice people. I knew them for a very long time, and it's very sad. Anyway, I was certainly sitting down with people and talking, and people said, "Well, what do you do?" And then I tried to explain amateur television and the repeater and all of that, and it was terribly hard. The general public knowledge of amateur radio, just normal amateur radio, is virtually zero. We have a very large PR problem. I recall when I was a young boy, my father knew the amateurs and knew amateur radio very well, because before WW1, and I think a little bit after, they were transmitting on the broadcast band after the commercials went off. I think the commercials used to go off about 8 o'clock at night or something, and then the amateurs would come on. So yeah, my father knew all about amateur radio and what they did. And unfortunately the commercial stations then came in and enforced the regulations that we live with today in terms of what we can actually transmit. But we are sort of bending the rules just a little bit. So yeah, it was quite difficult, but I'm not sure that I actually succeeded. But anyway, it's just one of those things when you think about it. Certainly as a boy, I knew all about amateur radio and what it was. On another thing, this little VSWR meter, which is a little redot, you can see how big it is. It runs on its own little battery, and I've tested it a couple of times, and it doesn't seem to be too half bad. It doesn't give you VSWR direct if you want it. What it does do, it gives you forward power and reverse power readings, and I think peak power readings. So using 10 log, the ratio of those two powers gives you the return loss. And then you can look up the tables for return loss versus the VSWR if you're really keen on it. But a return loss of maybe 12 dB, something like that, is pretty well 1.5 to 1. So yeah, it seems to work quite well. That was at 1.2 gigs. I've also tested it at 400 megs and seems to be okay there. I think it's spec down to maybe 30 megs or something like that. It won't work at HF, so it's strictly for the higher frequencies. But being so small and basically self-contained, ideal for maybe the mad days and things like that if you want to monitor what's going on. So that's the little redot, and yeah, it seems to work quite well. What else have we got down here? Oh yeah, we've got a couple more GT media boxes that I'm working on over here on the bench. I've withdrawn the GT media box on the northwest beam. The reason for that was that Jeff, with a number of transmitters, Jeff 3GE, with a number of transmitters, we're getting black screens, and I think maybe there was another station as well getting black screens with it. So I don't know what the reason is. I'm using. You're seeing me via the GT media box right now because I've got one on the northeast beam, which is what I'm running on now. So it's yeah, one of those things about HDMI. what does happen at the repeater though, the HDMI line comes out of the receiver and then goes into a switcher, and of course there's multiple HDMI coming in from the player and all of the receivers, so you need a switcher first. Then I needed to strip the audio off and then process that, and then put another box in that would take the audio and put it back where it was. So we've stripped the audio off, we've processed it, we've added Morse code ID, and we've also added the DTMF codes have come in and recorded, which is what we needed to do to strip the audio off the HDMI line. We then put the audio back in another little box, and then that went to a splitter. So there was a fair amount of mixing with the HDMI. I could do without the one that puts the audio back, but you wouldn't hear the Morse code ID, and I'm not sure maybe that's a good idea. We don't have any video ID, and the reason that I've put forward, and no one's queried it anyway, but you just got to look at your set-top box and you can see that it's VK3RTV. So it self-IDs itself really in this digital age. So yeah, but I guess just looking at that arrangement with the controllers, there's a fair bit of HDMI processing there, so that could account for the strange behaviour, but I can't really explain it. Also, I've been preparing a lecture which I'm giving at the Eastern and Mountain Districts Radio Club at their first meeting in early February. It'll be on Smith charts, and it's really aimed at the more active type of foundation holder, and also maybe standard people wanting to upgrade to advanced, to give them a glimpse of what really is behind what they see with the 4-port networks around the place that everyone's got, with the Smith chart on the top of it and this mystical thing. So we're going to do that. That should be okay. As a part of that, I just wanted to throw in the situation of explanation where if you go a quarter wave from an open circuit, you end up at a short circuit. And an easy way of showing that is some parallel traps, and I've just made a couple here. So I'll show you what has happened. A bit of shaky cam coming. All right, let's get this off the rack here. And under here where the lead is, and you can see one of the traps there. I'll take that my way, which is not connected at the moment, and we're feeding the input and the output to the scanner that we've got available, on the spectrum analyzer. So we just go up to the spectrum analyzer, and you can clearly see that there are frequency points for which there seems to be a fairly large attenuation, at 30 dB roundabout. The bill to be paid for that, the insertion loss looks as though it's about, I'd say it's about 1.5 to 2 dB, something like that. But it just shows you that an open circuit can look like a short circuit at certain frequencies. And of course, if you showed that sort of thing down here to an electrician, for example, who has no knowledge of radio, they would say that thing's doing nothing. It's open circuit at this end, and therefore it's not going to harm anyone. But of course it will. will act as a second harmonic track, and it's just a way of doing it fairly easily. Probably need to do that at a lower level. I mean, you've got about a 2 dB insertion loss there. And up here we've got the 2 GT media boxes which are about to get connected. We've got the two little PCBs. That one is my little devil with a little pickaxe in it, which is going to produce the infrared codes that are necessary. And this box here monitors a couple of the lines out from the stripped out display, which is there, and that's going to have a little tiny in it that Stephen has kindly supplied and developed the software, and it looks at the stream from the DTMF line that's coming into this cut-off now display, and identifies when certain numbers come up. So it then acts as a control system, and there's a little relay here, and that will click on and short circuit the line, which goes back to the controllers. So the controller gets basically an earth signal as a result of all of that. So there we are. Anyway, not sure how we're going to use these, but at the moment we're certainly running on one now, and the reason for the problems on RTV2, I'm not sure. Anyway, that's about it from me. So I think, Richard, you're the next to take this. So, Richard, VK3VOS, this is VK3BFG, 1-2 in the south. Over to you.
G'day everybody, welcome to our net. Yeah, sad news about the passing. Sorry to hear that, Pete. It's always not nice to hear when friends have passed away. And yeah, about your explaining about ham radio to the masses. One of the biggest reasons why I run the hobby show and invited ham radio to it, because I've always been interested in radio, so I've always known about hams, but many of my friends go, what are all the antennas on your car for? You're trying to talk to the Martians or something? And that's when you start explaining what ham radio is all about, and then trying to explain about TV, how we do. And they say, you've got your own TV studio, So yes, I know it all too well. Trying to explain it to people. So yeah, it's very, very important to have as much exposure to the public as possible, and particularly our youth. And when I say our youth, I'm talking, under 30, because under 30 really have had pretty much no or very limited exposure to radio, CB radio, never mind ham radio. So yeah, we've always got to keep promoting it to our youth. That's the most important thing. Otherwise, as we get greyer and greyer and less of us, unless we've got new generations to replace us, the skills and the knowledge that we have and gain throughout our whole hobby will be lost. And it'll all be commercialised, and there'll be no advancement unless it's cost effective, because that's the way of the world, unfortunately. If it isn't going to make lots of money, commercial entities aren't interested. and that's why ham radio is so important, because we experiment with things not because it's going to make lots of money. We experiment with it because we want to see what happens, or if it works, or how can we get it to work. So that's one of the big main differences. So yes, very, very important. And that leads me to my video tonight. It's coming up to that time of year where the Hamfests start, and of course there's one in a couple of weeks. So I might just run this video. Thank you, Andrew FS. He allows us to play the video, so I'm going to play this in its entirety and hope more people see it. We do get a few people following, and a lot of people click on the YouTube channel just out of interest. So hopefully someone will see it and might come and have a look. But here we go. Have a look.
On Sunday, February the 4th, 2024, the Ballarat Amateur Radio Group hosted one of the best hamfests I've been to in years. It was a hot 38 degrees Celsius or 100 degrees Fahrenheit in the old system, but that didn't deter hundreds of amateurs from far and wide making the pilgrimage to the central Victorian town of Ballarat. Hamfests are a place to offload unused gear and to take home someone else's superfluous gear, and this year traders spilled out into the surrounds around the shed. As with all events of this nature, local amateurs could see, swap and buy the old and the new. Hero from ICOM Australia showcased the concept model of the company's 24 GHz add-on for the IC905. On display was the RF module, 24 GHz transverter and a dish antenna. Ian VK3RTV made the 570-kilometre journey from Adelaide's northern suburbs to showcase his 122 GHz transceiver, which you can read all about in Dubis, issue 3 of 2022. There was plenty to inspire the budding microwave enthusiast. Nick, VK3BA, organised most of the microwave corner in the shed. The Hamfest had the premiere of the updated Amateur Microwave It's Easier Than You Think video, now including ICOM's IC905. All in all, the day was a great success from an outsider's point of view. I even came home cash flow positive. Well done to everyone at Barg for organising such a terrific Hamfest, as well as delivering a great summer's day. Make sure you get there in 2025.
Did you know that a video edition of the WIA News broadcast is screened here? VK3RTV Channel 1 by Clint VK3CSJ, every Sunday morning at 10:30 a.m. Repeated Sunday evening at 8 p.m.
Better put a microphone on, I suppose. Yes, so obviously that was last year's, but this year's one is actually on the 1st of February. Now, I've got another commitment, which I'm not sure I'm going to be able to make it to Bendigo at this point. Sorry, Ballarat. I'm hoping I can, but I'm not going to know until almost the last minute. So, and it's one I do actually like to go, because I know Peter likes to go, and we often fly up there, so it's always nice. But I can't commit to that at the moment, Peter. I don't know, and I'm not sure whether you were planning on going this year. But yeah, so by everyone that's watching. Got 13 on YouTube, including we've got a few people. So, and there's somebody who is actually on the YouTube, under 30, who knows absolutely nothing about amateur radio and especially ATV. So, hello, Miss Queen Random. This is Amateur TV. It's a bunch of people who are actually broadcasting. If you're in Melbourne, you might be able to pick us up, on the old-fashioned free-to-air TV type system. That's what we're doing. But feel free to have a look through my YouTube and have a look at other broadcasts that we've done. So hello to everyone else who's also on YouTube and everyone that's on Discord as well, because we stream on Discord as well. So welcome to everyone, and go and check out the Ballarat Hamfest. It very rarely disappoints. It's quite a nice drive. And as Andrew said, they usually put on a good show. So enjoy that, and that's me for tonight. And I believe I'm handing over to Stephen, VK3RTV, and all good. I'll go to good old-fashioned my test pattern, and then you can take over, Stephen. Oh, by the way, just before I go, I'm going to swap mics. So that's the mic on the camera there. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And if I swap over, now this is my lapel microphone. So just if anyone wants to give me some feedback on how the different sounds, that would be great. Anyway, that's it for now. So thanks, guys, and see you next week.
Hello, I'm Stephen from Keysborough, VK3RTV. It's been a couple of weeks, I think, since I was broadcasting. I think we had some technical issues that night, so I'm going to repeat a couple of things from that night. But welcome to 2026, if this is the first net you're checking into. Another feedback for Miss Queen Random on YouTube is there's a link to our Discord on there. That's the Australian Amateur TV Discord. So links to different sites and what we do in amateur TV is all available on there. And if you've got any questions, no matter how odd or different or whatever you might think they are, you're welcome to ask them on that forum, and we can come back and give you some answers to things as well. Particularly if you don't even have a radio license, it makes it easy to get onto Discord. We can give you some tips and hints on how to get into amateur radio if you are interested. So that's all good. I'm just going to do my recap from a couple of weeks ago. So I was actually doing some antenna work over the holidays. So I'll just grab first picture. So this is my 2025 amateur TV setup. So the large antenna you can see sort of poking out to the, I'm going to say the left. Hopefully the screen's not reversed or anything for anyone. is the receive, and the smaller one just below it to the right is my transmit antenna. So the big antenna, that's actually a JCar fringe UHF antenna, just the normal special that we sort of start off with. But what I've done, I've actually replaced it with this little one. Because I'm fairly close to the transmitter, I've actually now got a little 5-element Yagi, which is more tuned just to the 445 megahertz frequency, because the JCar one, whilst it does a really good job and actually still has more gain than this little one, was making a bit of noise, just extra weight on the roof and stuff, so I thought I'd try something a bit smaller. This one's doing really, really well. It probably has about 8 dB less gain than the big JCar one, but the quality, signal quality and everything seems to be pretty good. But I'm waiting for like a rainy day to come up just to see how the signal goes when the weather conditions aren't as good. But so far it's been really good. So yeah, I'm not even using a dish for my transmission. I'm just using that little Yagi antenna. It's been doing a really great job for me. So yeah, a bit of a neaten up of my antennas to simplify that. The next one I will just chuck up here is, this is my 2 meter 70 centimeter Omni. So this is actually with a view towards the northwest of where I'm located. So I get a really good clear view out that way. But that's probably the area that I get least signal, unfortunately. So obviously towards you, Ian, and the gang over that way. Yeah, I don't pick up much of you guys, but yeah, there's nothing in the way like a hill anywhere near me. But I think there's a slight sort of a rise out that way, and it's just enough to block the signal, unfortunately. So. But just thought I'd give that picture up there, and you can see the UHF fringe antenna just down there to the right, at the bottom of the picture there. That was my old receive antenna. The other one that's been I've been working on is this one. So up until recently, my free-to-air TV has actually been received over fibre. I'm in one of the newer estates, and it comes over fibre optic cable. And again, I forgot, I said it in my previous broadcast, I should have a little converter with me, but I've forgotten to bring it, so maybe next time. It actually converts the fibre optic signal back into just a normal RF like you would receive off antenna on your roof. But they're actually discontinuing that service, so I've had to put up a TV antenna. So this is my new antenna. And if you look in the far distance in that red circle, that's actually the Mount Dandenong transmission towers. So I get beautiful clear line of sight out that way. So if VK3RTV ever gets a chance to move up there, I'm all for it. Back up there. Yeah, no, get a good clear line of sight, but that's a nice powerful antenna to feed my home. I do have on, as a future talk, to go through how I distribute RF through the house, because I do have VK3RTV, I've got my own modulators, and obviously Mount Dandenong all mixed into all my TVs at home. So, which actually lets me do things like this. So I actually realised I hadn't actually checked it since I started receiving VK3RTV, but I've got an LG TV that's now about 8 years old, and it does actually let me put in the manual frequency to pick up VK3RTV. So that's an OLED screen, so it's one of the newer sort of style ones, LG WebOS. So I'm tipping probably other LG screens are likely to receive VK3RTV as well. You just have to type in the frequency on that one. So yes, yeah, I didn't even know that one. I thought my old Samsung did as well, but I tried it again recently and it doesn't seem to like it. So that's something for another rainy day to see if I can get to work. Alright, the next thing I had on my list was a little bit of just a note for some clearance things. I actually went to Electronics recently, and they're getting rid of all their old wall panels. So this is just like a 3 RCA panel, nothing fancy. It's $1, nice wall panel. The good thing about this one, as I realised, is that yes, it comes with the RCA, so you get some RCA sockets, but they're actually the perfect size to put your panel SMAs in. So if you want like a wall plate with some SMA sockets, perfect for doing that as $1, and then you've just got to provide your SMAs for that one, but $1 for that one. And then this one, this was got VGA and USB and things on that one, but this has actually got fly leads on the back, so that might be interesting to people. You know, 3.5mm female to female fly lead, VGA, USB, so it's a USB B socket to A socket, yeah, that might be interesting, and they're like $3. So anyone doing ATV, VGA is probably not used much anymore, but your 3.5mm and your RCAs and stuff could come in very handy on that one. Not so much probably the wall plate, but definitely for some of the fly leads to do a couple of things with, could be very handy. So I will wipe those off, excuse the noise, they can go over to the side, and I'll clean that up later. A little follow-up from Clint last week. Unfortunately, he can't be on this week, but he spoke about the thermal camera. And this is mine I've had for about 4 or 5 years. So if you don't like the really big ones, the big ones are good because you can just grab them and go. This is one that actually plugs into your mobile phone. So it's USB-C, so it should work with most mobile phones. This is actually a genuine flare, as we heard from Clint. And this just plugs into your phone with an app. It's got the 2 cameras, so it's got the top one. I don't know how close I can go and zoom in. Let's see. There we go. So the top one you can see there is the normal visible camera, and the bottom one that it just looks like a black round circle, that's the actual infrared camera there. So that's that one. But yeah, that just plugs in. You can adjust how far the USB sticks out, so if you've got a phone case or whatever, and it's just USB-C charge as well. So that's a nice little portable one, comes in a little bag. So I'll zoom back out, so compared to my hand, so nice and small, easy to travel with, very handy for testing and looking at anything. You know, obviously with the fires recently and things like that, if you want to find hotspots, it's a good thing for that one. I've used it for many little things, including the trailer. I think my brakes were overheating on the trailer one day, so you could actually see that. So very, very handy for doing all that sort of stuff. The last little thing just on that one, looking at SMA sockets and things like that. This is actually my box that I keep all my miscellaneous little connectors and things, particularly mostly SMA stuff. So if I actually look at that, I've got my panel mounts, so you can grab those out. More SMA panels. These are screw in, like actually mount ones, whereas these just need the hole. SMA adapters, so this is that might be actually in the wrong spot, that one. Right angles and things like that. PCB mounts for my SAW filters and things. N to SMA and F connectors. UHF to SMA and F as well. They come in handy for things like antennas and stuff. We've got, what's this one? This is my big 30 watt attenuator, dummy load. A couple of RPSMA converters, SMA to RPSMA. They might come in handy if I'm doing any 2.4 gig sort of stuff. Terminators, other just general joiners, some F59F to SMA, but these ones are like special. There's also, if you're doing things like nano VNAs and stuff, these are actually quick fit. If I can show you, that's through the bag. So they're actually an F connector, but they're push on, so they don't have a screw, so it's easy to connect and disconnect when you're just doing temporary testing work, and other attenuators. And I keep a good handful of different little attenuators, so I can use those particularly just for padding out my ATV amp and stuff like that. So they come in very handy there, so I thought that might interest a few people how I'm storing that one. And yeah, that's mostly me. I think, Mick, if you want to start prepping your transmission, I've just got one little thing left. I just want to give everyone a bit of an update. You might have seen my Barrack presentation that I chucked on VK3RTV last year by VK3RTV. I've just seen him post, I think it was last week, they've actually been able to get their mesh core network up to 750 kilometres from just past Warrnambool all the way up to Canberra with their repeaters. So that's a really great thing. So anyone that would like to actually be part of that mesh core, I'm actually considering whether I become a repeater as well. It looks interesting to create that and help stabilise that network even further. That could be really interesting for other people to be involved in as well. So alright, I think that's me. I've taken up enough of everyone's time, so I think over to you, Mick. Do I have my little outro? There we go. Thank you all. I'll catch you next time.
All right, good evening everybody. And yes, I've got to put that one in the up position. All right, yeah, good evening. Mick, VK3RH, operating out of Doncaster, eastern suburbs of Melbourne. Yeah, okay, yeah, Peter, yes, always not really a happy time when people decide to bid their leave, and of course it seems to be worse the longer you've known them. It sort of seems to bite harder. I remember my grandmother, she made it to 100 years and 5 months, and you know, you just sort of think that they're going to be, you know, it feels like they're always just going to be there. So when they do finally leave you, yeah, it kind of bites. All right, what have we been done? Well, we were over at Peter's place recently, a few days ago, the exact day, this week sometime, and now let's see, I'm not sure if that's still holding up. I might have to add a bit. Let's go there. What's not doing it? That's it. Okay, we're back. We were around at Peter's place just recently, and he did put this system on the spectrum analyzer, and while the output is probably borderline, it'll kind of do for amateur radio television purposes, so we've got that going. So he just sort of confirmed that we're not sort of splattering all over the place with the settings that we have. So we tend to get into the repeater most times, so we'll see probably next time it rains whether it's going to complain or not. Now there's a house being built next to us, so you can see there, that's the new house that didn't exist previously, so it's been there a while. So that's what we're transmitting into. So this is our transmit beam, the loop Yagi there, and I'm pretty much guesstimating that we're roughly going through there just underneath that tree to get into VK3RTV, which is not in view. So we're missing the edge of this roof, and these are like RF transparent tiles anyway. So you know, they're not metallic or anything. There's a little bit of the scaffolding around which will disappear, but that doesn't seem to bug us. So yeah, I'm of the belief that where the aerial is, it's pretty much on that high side. So for all intent purposes, that house doesn't really exist, like it's not blocking us. But of course, when they give you the plans to begin with, you sort of roughly think, well, where's it going to be? And now that it's existing, we should be right. The previous had a little bungalow at the back, but of course it wasn't 2 stories high, and that didn't worry us. So we should be pretty good with that one. What else have we been up to? Not a lot really. Now that we've got this going and the high definition is back, I've got the SR systems there, but it's probably going to be not used anymore. So not sure what I'll do with that, but I'll leave it in its position at the moment. I was toying with the idea of pulling out all its leads, but we'll see, because what we used to have was HDMI to composite, and then with a junction going up to the SR systems, and then composite back to HDMI, feeding the hides. So I figured there'd be a bit of loss of quality. So what I've done is I've just got the HDMI going straight from the computer into the hide, so hopefully this picture is improved. Although with my eyes I can't really pick much of a difference. It looks pretty similar to look at, but maybe you guys can tell. Richard, you wanted comments on your microphone. The one on your shirt is more I don't know, just more sort of studio quality. The other one sounds a bit more distant, there's a little bit more room echo in it. But yeah, definitely the one on the shirt has that more professional, nice rounded off sound to it, sort of more gentle on the ears. All right, I think that's about all I've got. Probably not making it to Ballarat. Yeah, probably won't be up there, but anyway, I'm sure a lot of you will take video and you'll present on this medium. So not sure if there's anyone else to take, so I'll just hand it back to Ian. So catch us all and catch you next week. VK3RH Doncaster.
Great, thanks Mick for that. That's good, great update, and you're sort of getting in there by the looks, so that's all promising. Can only improve, I'm sure. I'll just turn my audio up a bit and see what that brings. I'm going up and down in audio, I don't know why. Each week is different. Right, and thanks Peter, Richard, and Stephen for your contribution. So that's makes the net all the better. The more people, the better. What I thought I might do is we'll go for a quiz. They seem to be popular, so this is the more advanced quiz. So let's roll with that.
you find yourself on a solar weather website and you see three measurements front and centre on your screen, have you ever wondered what they actually mean? Solar Flux Index, SFI, Sunspot Number, SSN, and Area are three indices used to measure solar activity along with R and KP values. Let's take a look at what these values mean to amateur radio.
Yes, same here with Sunny, T-A-N-I, and I'm located near Osaka, CTH Nara, November Alpha, Radio Alpha.
Yes, this video, along with over 20 others, short, concise videos, are available on VK3FS's YouTube channel. They're great videos, well put together, and less than 10 minutes, most of them, and cover the various topics very well. So do yourself a favour and check it out. Ballarat's been mentioned a few times. It is coming up, as people have mentioned, and if I bring this up, we get Mike come up as well. As amazing. Down the bottom is the Ballarat Radio Group Hamvention, Sunday the 1st of February at the Ballarat Airport. So do again, put that into your diary. I just wanted to recap. I prepared this a couple of weeks ago, but when we just had the summer VHF UHF microwave field day, which they changed the date about 6 weeks beforehand, and that was rather unfortunate, I think, because I don't think a lot of people were aware. And so it's now apparently the run order for the UHF VHF microwave field days will be the summer one will be the first full weekend in January. The winter one will be the third weekend of June 26. I'm not quite sure how that lines up with last. Oh, I've got that double. Yeah, so, and spring is the third weekend in September. So that makes it, the next one will be the winter one. It's hard to think of winter, we just, not with the weather we've just had. 30 degrees most days for the last few days. So yes, winter. I suppose it will happen. The third weekend of June, 20th to the 21st of this year. So that's the information there. Right. Now I was. Yeah, I haven't seen any more people come up, so that's good. What was the next thing? Oh yeah, where did I put that? When I do things at the last minute. What I thought I'd cover a bit of what I've done in the last week. One of the annoying things I've had hanging around for the last 4 years is with the outro that I use, where I have a scrolling off of stations that have come through RTV at Mount View site, is the scroll has been jumpy, and it's been annoying me a lot. And I've tried various ideas to get around it. I'll just give you a slight hint of, or show exactly what I'm getting at here. This is the scrolling of the titles. Now I've got two sets here. I've split screen just for the purpose of demonstration. But yeah. So that's what I've been playing around with, is what's the old process that I used, or the original process, well, I suppose it was about Mark 6 process that I've used for many years, or a whole of 3 years anyway, is I've done the titling in PowerPoint and then exported it as an MPEG-4, and then transferred it across to vMix and cut the tail and the header into the original footage. Now, I don't know why, but that has been rather disappointing, that process, because, and I'll now talk about what I've been trying to fix. So the old one is on the right-hand side, and I don't know if people noticed, but it's jumping, and that's annoyed me a lot. And I've tried various techniques of trying to run that MPEG-4 through a different frame rates and what do they call it? Bit rate filters and things, and nothing's really worked. On the left-hand side is the new version, which is considerably, I think, considerably improved. At least I'm happier with it. Disregard the fact that the font size is different and the speed of scroll is different and all of that. The bottom line is you can change all that. The problem has been the motion up the screen of the text. So yeah, this is very anal stuff. But what I was able to solve it was using AI, and I've been using AI for about 3 or 4 years for this sort of work in the ATV space, and up until now it's been a great source of annoyance. 25% of the time it saves the day, and 75% of the time there's a lot of nasty words spoken between us. But anyway, this time it really delivered the goods, and it delivered it by tapping in to forums that are connected to the broadcast industry, which have had to grapple with this sort of problem as I would have expected. And have solved it. And the solution in this case was to do the titling in XML, as XAML text markup language, and then which vMix can handle. Unfortunately, vMix can only render so much characters, so I had to chunk, the AI suggested I chunk it up into 4 chunks. And if you notice coming up here on the left-hand side, you see Simon and Andy, the spacing is a bit close, but that can be adjusted. But that's an example of where the chunking is, and also with the EMDRC lettering is too close to the line above, but that's where the actual chunks come together. But it's quite easy to adjust that. I just threw it together for tonight, and in fact I'll be running with the left-hand side version. So anyway, I thought I'd share that with you, just if anyone's interested. If you're bored, well, yeah, tell me not to do that sort of thing again. That's fine. But I'm quite happy to talk about vMix techniques, but a lot of it is very obtuse, I'd say, and really it's on a whim that I sort of play around with it. So anyway, that's 6 penneth's worth on vMix and scroll titling. It's been a very interesting trip. Now, there was one other thing I was going to touch base with. I think that's enough, actually. I might wrap it up. If there are no other stations wanting to come up, I shall. Oh, no, I did want to touch on the ISS. I'll just do the ISS front. clip, and what I'm interested in showing you is that the fact that this colour bar generator is now on the ISS ham TV installation, so that's transmitting on various tests colour bars. Before that, it was just a capped camera, which was a bit dull and really wasn't that helpful in receiving the ISS ham TV transmission. So here's a bit of a clip. It is part of this total clip on the ISS passes. Let's have a look at the International Space Station passes for Melbourne over the next week.
7 Delta Whiskey 59. Yeah, 59 to you. Yeah, 73. Yeah, VK7DW, VK3EJ 59 Andrew. VK3EJ.
So if you're interested in receiving the ISS, the mini tuner settings are excellent, and it's on YouTube. The address is there, the QR code is there for you to clip on your camera or on your phone and go to that site. But this is the first time that I've seen useful information on how to receive the ISS signal, and in this case with the colour bars it's very useful. So yeah, I thought I'd share that with you. Right, so that's all I've got for tonight, and I'll do my outro with the new scroll of stations for RTV on Mount View site.